Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Cherika Brown. Of course, we're on another episode of Cherika Be Talking because I be talking. Yesterday, I told y'all how I kind of preserved my silk press while being a gym girl. And today, I'm just coming on here with my silk headscarf to show you how I wrap my hair at night. Now, Sylvia, who does hair, my stylist, she did my hair when I was very young, and she just recently did my hair for me. She was basically saying how the silk scarves are the best for silk presses, like with wrapping your hair. So I just wanted to come on here on camera and unwrap my hair after I wrapped it last night from the gym. I haven't put any heat on it or anything since yesterday's sweat. And I'm just going to show y'all how it falls. You're going to see that. You see like some imperfections in it and where I can just fix it with flat iron it. But for the most part, it did kind of preserve the silk press. I haven't combed it down at all, so it did. The scarf came off. It slipped off because I sleep wild at night, so it did come off, and I just, while I'm asleep, kind of just tie it back up. But I'm about to show y'all how it falls, and we're gonna comb it as we go. So I just kind of do this sometimes to get it off there, and you see how it'll just naturally start to fall. And because I did do the little beehive technique wrapping, you don't see my part anymore. So I would have to kind of create that part anywhere, somewhere, just so I can see y'all. But yeah, you see how it's not as like flowy as when I first get it done. And you can see like where I sweated my edges out a little. If you can get a close up there. But it's not bad. You know, it's still manageable. It doesn't look like an afro or anything. Let me see if I can give y'all a back view. See? You may see some little dents back there, but nothing that a flat iron cannot fix. And that's basically how to preserve the silk press in the gym. Let me know if y'all want me to show y'all how I actually like part it and then put it up, because I am gonna do that before I go to the gym today, actually. But what I came on here today to talk to y'all about, my hair shedding a little, I'm gonna have to sweep right here. But what I did want to talk to y'all about today is I was on my Snapchat looking at like memories from like 9 years ago and stuff. And one thing I realized is that sometimes looking at your old videos and your old footage, sometimes you realize you make yourself cringe. And when I thought about it, I was like, I mean, that was just a young version of me. So I can't just say, I just want to delete all of it. But if you can't look at your throwback videos or pictures or, you know, quotes that you would post or whatever, or things that you would post and be like, why did I even do that? That means you're not growing. The whole point of us being on this earth over time is to evolve and to become a better version of ourselves. And sometimes I have to remind myself that, because I'm like, ew, when I see stuff that I did years ago and it make me cringe, it make me not even want to post now, because I'm like, 10 years from now, I'll look at what I post now and be like, I actually thought that, I actually lived like that, or I actually posted that, or what was that? That seems attention seeking. That seemed, what place did I post that from? But when you think about it, it's all a part of your human experience. And sometimes what you was doing at that time period was what was relevant during that time period, where whether it was you emotionally, physically, spiritually, it was whatever you were feeling and whoever you were in that moment. And it's all a part of who you became. So you can't hate who you were, or not even hate who you were, dislike who you were, or cringe at who you were, because it's the reason you are who you are. And I was thinking about that when I scroll on social media, and, you know, like a lot of people reinvent themselves and recreate themselves on social media. They like to not go by their government name, or, you know, they like to kind of try to erase something in their past to make them feel like they're someone new. Like, they have this identity crisis sometimes, or they just don't like who they used to be, and they only want people to know who they've become. And nothing is wrong with just wanting to be identified as your growth, but in order to fully love yourself, you have to embrace who you were as well. And I think a lot of us can go back and cringe at who we were, but that's the beauty of our journey. That's the beauty of our story, and there's beauty in the growth. I was just thinking that because Snapchat is also threatening us to basically delete our memories if we don't pay for storage or buy storage. And I'm like, I really could not care less because Snapchat memories take up so much space on our phones anyway. So if y'all delete my memories, you're just gonna be helping me not take up more of my iPhone storage. And I went through and I was like, actually, some of these memories are a part of who I became and why I am the way I am. So I went through them and I was like, you know, some of these I'm gonna save them and I'm gonna change the metadata back to the original date so that when it goes in my camera roll, it goes to like the date that it was actually taken or, you know, saved originally. So I went through some of them and just started saving them. And I was like, cool, I'm good with whatever they delete after that. Because other stuff was just so like pointless. Like, why did I even post this? But I was happy that I could look back and look at myself from my future self or my present self, look at my past self and be like, what, girl? Like, what were we doing? What were we thinking? How were we feeling? And just knowing that I'm so past whatever I was going through or whatever I felt or whatever I was feeling during those times. I'm just so happy to be past those things now. And like, even when you know certain things were for certain people and just be like, wow, those things are so irrelevant to my life now. So I just encourage y'all to reflect on your past and stop trying to erase who you are and erase your history. Your history is literally your story, his story. So embrace your story and don't get mad at who you were or don't, you know, cringe at who you were. Embrace it in every aspect of your life because it's a part of that great person you think you are today. And the person who you were is proud of you. Like, you're looking back, your present person is like, to your past, but your past person is back there cheering you on, clapping. So don't try to erase her or don't try to erase him. Just understand that person, who you were. And when you understand that person who you were, you'll understand the person who you are and the person that you're going to be. And sometimes you have to forgive the person who you was, accept who you are, and believe in who you'll become. And when you do that, I got that from that's some that's Rocco rap right there. But when you do that, you'll just see the beauty in your journey and you'll stop like being mad. Sometimes, you know, I even run into people that you went to school with or, you know, something they if you address them by a nickname that you called them, if y'all play sports together and they had a nickname, they don't want to be called a nickname, they want to be called a social media name. Like, people get so offended. And I'm like, don't get offended by your past. Don't get offended by who you were, because it's the reason you are who you are. As long as somebody not coming up to you trying to bring up things about who you were that was bad, don't get mad at people because they don't know who you are. They only knew who you were. If they're like, hey, Cherry, and I'm like, no, call me Cherika B. Like, that's not big. This person knew me as Cherry, so I'm not going to trip off of that. You know, I could see if it's a professional setting where I don't want anybody to know a nickname or something like that. But people are really like struggling with their identity and trying to run from their past because they may not have been happy in their past, or they may not have been the most popular in their past. Or when I just look at these things on social media, this has nothing about me and my Snapchat memories. I was just cringing on how I was talking, like, as far as just like looking at stuff as lame or corny. Like, why would I even post this? It wasn't nothing big. I'm proud of who I was and who I've become and who I will be. But with other people, when you're, you know, trying to brand yourself, because that's a popular thing these days, just remember that you are who you are because you were who you were, and you will become who you will become because of who you are and who you were. And there's nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to regret, or nothing to just not like. Love every part about yourself. Love every part about your journey. I'm not telling you to live in the past or allow people to throw your past in your face, but you embrace every part about it and live fearlessly. But I hope this message helps somebody. And y'all know I'll be back because I'll be talking. But we got to do our verse of the day. Y'all almost made me forget. Today is Wednesday. Wednesday. Today's verse is Galatians 3:26. So in Christ Jesus, you are all children of God through faith. Ooh, I like this verse. Through faith in Jesus Christ, all believers become children, sons, and daughters of the Most High. I like this particular verse because it transcends social divisions like Jew and Gentile, or slave versus free, and male versus female. It tells us that through Christ, as believers, that we all are his children, meaning that we're all equal. And that basically debunks everything everybody tries to say about Christianity being a white man religion, or, oh, we had slaves in the Bible. And, we had slaves in the real world. The Bible is based on a true story. So it basically tells us that our God is a fair and just God, and we're all his sons and daughters, and he look at us equally. So that's Galatians 3:26 for you, straight out the Bible. And I hope the message helps somebody. Y'all know I'll be back. I be talking. Peace.